Hello, so this is BBL11, and today I'm here with none other than the Hooper's Voice. And I've been wanting to make this happen for a long time. So how are you doing today?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. So to start off, I guess explain who you are. What it is you're doing in your background and etc.
So my name's Mohammed.
Yeah.
Whose voice is not on my birth certificate. I call myself a creative, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do the THV stuff, but I do other stuff too. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically me.
Okay. So I guess the big question is, how did you get into basketball in Britain? It's different for everyone. But...
Yeah, it is. For me, I didn't play till I was 16. So I ended up playing at high school, and then I met some coach that's very well known in West London. Well, my part of West London. He taught me how to play. Played. I think he coached me for like a year. Then I played National League. So I played really late. That's how I got into it anyway. Got pretty decent. But yeah.
Okay, so the BBL player. It's there's been a lot of talk about it. A lot mainly bad. With it not working and all this. So
yeah.
I guess what are your thoughts on the BBL player?
The BBL player, I think, even though like everyone's made jokes about it, I've made jokes about it, you've made jokes about it, I think it gets a hard rap, man.
Yeah.
Because it was something that was made on the fly. I think it came out before it was even ready. I think it's a good idea though.
Yeah.
Like it had me watching more BBL than I ever watched in my whole life.
Yeah.
Like I was watching the games every week, like multiple games. I loved it. Cool. It had its issues, The price point when they came out with it at first was a bit horrendous. Then they changed it. I don't know. I heard that players will have to pay, and then they didn't have to pay. So that's crazy too. But I think it's a great idea. I think later on, like down the line, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, well,
like it's his first year, and it came out of nowhere because of the pandemic. So it's what it is.
I guess it's similar to the league pass. It's better to have all the games in one kind of spot.
Exactly.
But a lot of it, although with it not working, a lot of it was it was always the same teams. So it seemed like a lot of it wasn't actually down to the BBL in respect of it. Sometimes it was down to the arena
like
or
Plymouth. I don't want to swear. Plymouth's Wi-Fi is terrible.
Yeah.
Their games never worked, but I don't know, man. It was weird. Cloud mix was just everywhere.
yeah. A lot of jokes about being the defensive player of the year and all literally. That. Yeah. So also Tom, I had to bring it up now. Now the season's done, so Tom Bonnet and Kevin Ware. There was this beef that went on between them. And in my eyes, I think it's good. I think the league needs either the players. It needs characters rather than everyone kind of being, as you could say, not robots, but not showing any emotion and that kind of thing. So does the league, I guess, need more characters that are willing to voice their opinions and to make it more exciting?
To be fair, that was like, even though it wasn't like a real like beef, but it was cool, man. Tom made T-shirts, and then like I remember like when the Lions came to Surrey, I think did they have a shirt?
Yeah, I think
Liggins wearing a shirt. I can't remember exactly what happened, but that was dope, man. Stuff like that is really cool. Like when Kevin was like tweeting about how Sheffield was rubbish, I was like, oh, that's bad. But like, is he meant to say they're good? He just lost the game, Like I think it's way better because some of the best leagues in the world sell storylines, whatever sport it is.
Yeah.
Like, and it helps. Obviously, there is a British basketball community on Twitter. It's not a huge community. It feels like a huge community because it's all everyone else follows. But like stuff like that is cool. And I feel like maybe if the league was to embrace stuff like that, like for example, that trophy game when Martell played against TVC, Cameron's first game. Even though obviously Cameron took all the headlines, which makes total sense. Like they should have made more of a story of like Martell playing against his former team.
Yeah.
Or like when the Lions played against Cheshire and Matthew NBA was at Cheshire.
Yeah.
They should have made a story about that. Like stuff like that just to sell. Not sell per se, not in terms of making money, but just make it more interesting.
Yeah, well I know, especially with the Sheffield and Lions, I know once Kevin Ware put out those tweets, it made me want to go, I want to see how Sheffield play against
Yeah, for sure.
And you could see, I remember seeing Sheffield players posting on social media, kind of talking back. It was indirectly, but
yeah, you know what was crazy? He said that in a reply to me because I said it was like Nick, my guy Nick he had a great game, innit? So I was like, wow, whatever, you know, I can't remember exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Just congratulating them, and then obviously Kev was like, you know, they're rubbish. Like Nick's good, they're rubbish. And then next thing you know, I think I was walking somewhere and people were like just going crazy about what he said.
Yeah.
But I mean, why not?
Yeah, well, you know, you see it in the NBA. I can't pinpoint any storylines, but you know, there is.
I could pinpoint one if you want, man. The other day, Game 2, New York against Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta won, I believe, right? Well, anyway,
whoever
won Game 2, yeah. One of the players that played for the Knicks said, "Don't." No, I think it was Game 1 or whatever. Anyway, don't worry, we'll run it back in the A. Like, they tweeted it.
Yeah.
Obviously, they go on to lose 2 games in a row, but like it just helps spice things up, you know.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Well, that's the thing. It keeps fans' eyes on the game. You know?
Exactly, man. Exactly.
So moving over to, I guess, social media. You know, your account, the Hooper's Voice specifically, has, I think it's something like 11,000 followers on Instagram. I think.
Something like that.
So, especially with basketball in Britain, how did you find, you know, growing the page?
I didn't just focus on basketball in Britain.
Well,
no, I'm saying that's how I grew the page, in a sense. But what I think to steer away from me for a second, like what BBL Fix did before you got hacked, like to get to, I think it was a 6K or 7K in like a year or something, or a year and a half, like to do that and just focus on British hoops is crazy. Like it was so, and I think in terms of like British basketball content purely, like he's got the best page in the country. But in terms of growing my page, I think, I don't know, sometimes I remember there was a thing I was doing and people that knew me, that knew I was running the page where I had like my personal account and the THV account, I would comment on my own posts. I would make posts saying crazy things like just to increase engagement. Obviously, I was writing a bunch of articles. For the first year, I think I wrote articles every week.
Oh, man.
Every week. I ended up getting a job writing for like an American publication. Like, they didn't pay me though. Terrible. But yeah, I was just always just on it, man. I think some of it is lucks. Like I didn't have a strategy. I still don't have a strategy. I get asked all the time, like, when do you know what to post what? And I'm just like, I just post whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like, but in terms of the growth, I don't know if I have any pointers for growth. I would just say like post what you want. Post what you like. You know, sometimes you can get caught up in any like space of social media. Sometimes you can get caught up posting what you think people want. But like you made whatever page you made because you wanted to post what you wanted. So just keep posting what you want. And in terms of the page itself, it's more of a hobby for me, man. Like I don't breathe, sleep, and eat it. Even though like I might post 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. There's other things I like to do. There's other things I like to watch. Other things I like to make. Like I call myself a creative, obviously before. So like I do a bunch of other shit that I don't post on THV. That's nothing to do with basketball. But that's just like fun for me. Obviously, it got to like 11K, which is great. But even if it was on 100 followers, I'd still post the way I post because I enjoy making content in a sense. For me.
Well, I know. I guess the controversy works because I remember it was at the very start of the season, and this is when the Giants were doing, you know, it felt like the Giants were beating everyone at this point. I remember I was tweeting.
What was your Twitter name like? 1-0, 2-0, 3. That was sick. I enjoyed that. That was sick. That was dope.
And then I put out one where I said like we're gonna beat everyone or something, and I knew everyone would hate it.
Literally.
And then I think the next day we lost. We lost to Glasgow or something. It was like, oh man. And I knew we were going to lose at some point.
Yeah, of course.
It was the worst time, and everyone was quoting it.
Yeah, man. And because it's a smaller community. It's just like, especially if obviously British Bulls, like and stuff. Like, it's better to like what happened the other day. Someone spoke about Newcastle just before they won. And then someone tweeted the person saying, "Oh, what do you think now?" And that shit went viral. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I feel like sometimes British basketball Twitter or British basketball social media gets too riled up sometimes. Like, for example, when the Lions were beating whoever they were beating, I can't remember what the team was.
That was the other team.
It said Lions 6, for example, Lions 60, other team 50, or whatever it was. And then everyone's like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, why not? Like, it's competition. There's no friends in this. Like, of course, it's a tiny community, but they're competing. Like, why not compete on social media as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I mean, NBA teams do it all the time.
Yeah.
The Sacramento Kings probably have the best sports social media page in the world.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. Yeah.
And even when they're getting blown out by teams, they're cussing other teams in GIFs, or they're cussing themselves, like, GIFs, cussing themselves or whatever it is. Is it GIFs? GIFs? I don't even know now, but it should be like that. It shouldn't be so sensitive. Like, I remember Switchful Thinking episode 1, me and Lucas were talking about British basketball being too sensitive.
Yeah.
Steve Viz even like tweeted previously, I'm paraphrasing it, about sensitivity in the sport, about how if you're sensitive about it, you can't improve it. It's the same thing for the social media stuff. If you're sensitive about it, you can't improve it.
Yeah.
It's just funny how everyone doesn't mind criticizing the BBL about how they make stuff, how they post, how they do stuff. But the minute you criticize something else, everyone wants to go up in arms. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, I know controversy works because I gained followers, followers, and I was tweeting all that.
It does.
But so moving on to with the sensitivity point, something everyone, I do it. Yeah, everyone does it. Says the BBL deserves more funding, or British basketball deserves more funding. But I was thinking the other day, is the BBL kind of ready? And this isn't. It's not a good thing we see with the Premier League and we see with the NBA. You have racism and social media abuse and all that, but because the league's so tight knit and that you don't get much of that. So is the league because if we do grow, then that's going you're going to have the trolls and that. So my question is the league kind of ready for that kind of growth?
If I'm honest with you, I wouldn't say it's ready. Per se, only because the league now is it's not big. It's got 11 teams, top of my head. I think I'm right. 11 teams.
11,
and it still struggles with 11 teams. And if it got bigger in terms of funding, there'd be more teams. And even though they only have 11 teams, the social media is worse than my grandmother's account, and she doesn't have Instagram. So like, do you feel me? So it's like I remember you were interviewing someone, and they said they should hire you to do the social. I think it was Mo from Sky Sports. Saying you should they should hire you to do the socials, and they should like employ you and employ BBL Fix and Brit Ballers, like, because you guys make way better content than they make.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And it's crazy because they own the actual content.
Do
you know what I mean? So it's like,
they have all the resources.
And you guys are doing it off no funding. On your phones most of the time. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember BBL Fix saying that he missed a news thing because he had class or something like that, or he couldn't make it at school. Like if you go on, I don't want to dog the league or whatever, but it's just like they're not ready for growth if they can't manage to make the league they have now look good. And it's not even that big. If you can't make an 11-team league look attractive, not even attractive, just look decent, then what are you gonna do when you have a 20-team league?
Yeah, exactly.
Or NBA 32 teams, or like what are you gonna do then? You know what I mean? So, I wouldn't say it's ready, but I think it will grow very soon, and I feel like when new people are in charge, or maybe like obviously there's new ownership in Plymouth, new ownership at London, there's new ownership everywhere else, it might force a change. Obviously the league's run by the teams, right? It might force a great change.
Well, and another question, I might be completely wrong, obviously Ovi Soka went into Love Island, this is regarding growth as well. How much do you think him going into Love Island, because he was on Love Island, he was marketed as this big basketball player and all this, so do you think him going there has had an effect on the British game, i.e. with Sky Sports and that sort of thing?
I don't know, because Sky Sports got the NBA deal.
Do
you know what I mean? I wouldn't say he solely influenced it. I will say though, when he did go on Love Island, if you go on his posts, every single British basketball player or person was just like there. Which was nasty to see, because if you go before, they wasn't there. So I don't know. Anyway, I did not get into that. But in terms of him influencing growth in the sport, I don't think he did. But that's a lot to put on someone, to influence a whole league and stuff like that. From time when he was with the Lions, again, going back to the league's marketing, they didn't really market it well.
No.
But then again, I don't know the insides and outs. You know what I mean, they might not have been able to get access to him because of contracts or whatever. You know, but whenever they had him, they never took advantage of it.
Yeah.
And everyone will tell you the same thing. Do you know what I mean? If you have the legit, probably as soon as he came out, as soon as Love Island was over, he might have been one of the famous people in the whole country. And you have him playing a couple box like at least once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's just like they didn't. I'm not talking about ticket sales. I just mean in general. They didn't capitalize off it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I know when he was there, it was crazy because I remember the Giants game. You know, the arena it only held like 600 people anyway, but you couldn't get off the court. You know, you were there waiting for ages. Yeah,
I can imagine.
So, from that, it shows that people just started turning up to see him, and the atmosphere would have been, the atmosphere was shocking because, no one knew what was going on, but, there's still ticket sales and all that, so the league could have done much more, and I think they could have done a lot more this season as well, especially just with the Lions alone.
For sure.
You've got Kevin Ware, John J. Liggins, so I think back to that kind of storyline and that kind of thing, personalities, I think the league can do much more, but, so, reviewing the season that's just gone, I think our MVP might be the same, or it'll be out of a couple of people. Who would you say the league MVP is?
To me personally,
yeah.
But it's tough because am I going to judge it on the season being over, or am I going to judge it before the playoffs? That's what I'm saying. Because obviously, throughout the playoffs, the whole season in entirety, from game 1 in September, October, whatever it was, to the end of the playoffs, my MVP is probably Ramon Fletcher. Like, that's my MVP. Like, he was doing insane things. Like, even in the playoffs, like, what he was doing was nuts.
Yeah.
So he'd be my MVP per se. But if we're talking about regular season, he'd still be my MVP, actually. Yeah. He'd still be my MVP for sure. Yeah.
Well, another topic is just before we started recording this, I think a couple of hours ago, it was announced Jules Dangokoda was signing for Cheshire, which was horrible because I don't like Cheshire.
That's crazy.
So it's looking like Cheshire are kind of ready, and they're coming out for next season. They've announced Teddy, they've got Jules. So yeah, I guess what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, as of now, all we know is they have those two.
Yeah.
Obviously, they might have a couple guys coming back, which I'm sure they're probably going to come back. So I mean, I can see a couple guys going back there. It makes total sense. But starting off with those two as signings is pretty sick.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
it's kind of
it's big,
it makes a statement.
It's big. Like that means they're putting work in the off season. Do you know what I mean? And to sign this early,
exactly.
Like it just turned June, and the season starts October, September, whenever it starts. So it's like to have them sign this early says a lot.
Yeah.
About what the players think about the team, what they were potentially offered, like do you know what I mean? It says a lot, man. But to have those two at your backcourt is pretty crazy. And like who else they're going to sign is going to be interesting because you want to see how it all meshes and stuff. But to have Teddy and Jules, like I don't know if like who else they're going to get. They might get another guard. They might get an American guard, which might have to they might have to share the minutes or whatever. But it's sick, like it's sick because even though Jules didn't start many games this season, and he had like reduced minutes because of the team they had at London. What he was doing in the minutes he got was like he was giving guys nightmares. He got in guys full court, steals, layups,
especially in the later on in the season.
Like in the trophy, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like this guy was playing amazing, man.
Yeah.
He played amazing. Definitely, man. He did his thing.
Yeah, well, I remember it might have been, I don't know what final it was. I think it was a final where London had, when London didn't have any players. Cup final.
Yeah, he did his thing there too.
Yeah, he showed up then.
Yeah. It's pattern, man. Every single finals, this guy is just there. He's showing up for sure.
Well, he did it. Yeah, he did it in playoff fight. Obviously, the Lions didn't win, but I think he came on. Did this thing. So
plays well.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully we can see him get some more.
Hopefully I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that a lot.
Yeah. So Cameron Hildreth. So Cameron Hildreth played in the BBL last season, and everyone's eyes was on him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's going off to Wake in a couple of months, I'd assume. So, I guess what are your thoughts on Cameron Hildreth and how excited for his career? I guess.
I remember the first time I saw him play. I think he was in year 11.
Oh man, yeah.
I think it was in year 11 or the end of year 11. It was like Hoops Classic. but like the last one before COVID, so I think it was like 2019 or 20.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it is. I have the wackiest memory ever. But watching him play, and it looked so easy for him at that age, and I was like, this guy is sick, you know. Yeah. But I didn't know who he was, and then Cameron Hodge. Obviously, everyone else must have knew already anyway, but I didn't know, so because I was pretty new to the scene or whatever. Watching him playing the BBL was very impressive. Some of the stuff he was doing against, grown men, but we saw him do it in D1 too. I would say his averages were like not disappointing, but it left a lot to be desired. Like his free throw shooting wasn't that great. If I'm being like really like technical about it, like he's like obviously he's a highlight machine, bro. He plays 5 minutes. There's gonna be a highlight. And then his highlight's gonna be everywhere. And then it's gonna go to overtime Europe. It's lit. Like this guy is sick.
He has brought so much attention.
It's dope. Like I feel like now overtime Europe posts a lot of like British stuff. Yeah, but I feel like it's only because of him. Because he was, I think he was, when he went to Europe and played in that tournament with Barkanabi, sort of in there, and they followed his journey here, and now they probably like, they had like great on it the other day. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's sick. And I feel like he's going to improve like amazingly. Like, is that even a real word? Yeah, I think it is. Who knows? Anyway, he's going to improve when he goes to Wake, innit? Like, crazy. Like, he's going to improve like crazy. And he's going to be a much better player. And he was great this year, especially thinking about his age. Like, to do what he did there is amazing. But he's going to have a hard time. The ACC is not a joke. A lot of great guards there.
That's the thing,
I just hope he improves his shooting averages, because if you look at his shooting averages from this season, even though I'm a big fan of his, it wasn't that great. You know?
Especially the free throw.
Yeah, for sure. Like all the other stuff, like field goal percentage or 3-point percentage, that's whatever. But like the one that was concerning to me was the free throw shooting, because it's like you're a star guard. You can't. I don't know if I think it was in the 50s. I could be wrong.
It was disappointing.
I could be wrong. But yeah, like that's the I just hope his free throw shooting improves, because I know his game's gonna improve. He's gonna figure out a way to be a better scorer, a more efficient player. But I just hope his free throw shooting improves. But he's a great player to watch, man. Especially his ability to get a shot off whenever he likes, on whoever he likes, however he likes, despite the percentage stuff. Like his ability to score in multiple ways. Like he can score in the post, he can score off the dribble, he can score out of a pick, he can score running down, he can score pull up. And to be that level of a scorer at such a young age, because he was doing that before he turned 18. Or before, I don't know if he's 18 yet, but before this year, he was in the last year. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's very impressive. Super impressive.
Well, I remember mainly the first time I heard of him was the back in Europe or wherever it was, and then. And then obviously, I think the Giants threw Worthing in the trophy. So I was like, okay.
I remember. I remember.
Yeah. So then, that Giants team was the worst. one of the worst. Like, we haven't had many good teams, but that one was very underwhelming. But it looked like men against boys, but he was kind of the man there. And he was about 17. It's like,
he was cooking that game. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on.
How stressful is it being a Manchester Giants fan?
I think this season's been one of the most stressful, because last season we kind of just accepted, what, we're not going to win many. But this season was the worst, because especially knowing how good we were, how good we thought we were at the start of the season. This one's been. You
guys were hot at the beginning.
Yeah. And then
what?
But yeah, it is very stressful.
But I mean, I hope Lloyd stays as a coach. It's a great pickup.
Yeah, well,
he's one of the best coaches in the country.
Yeah, well,
for sure.
Well, to be fair, he did improve, but I think a lot of it was the season was nearly done anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, exactly.
Because I remember I spoke to him, because I managed to get to one game. I spoke to him, he's saying he felt sorry for the players because they had to learn a whole new system within 2 weeks. But usually in pre-season you get to do that because you got no games to worry about. But they had like one training session and then they had to jump into a game. So. So yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, so it's been a good episode. It's been nice meeting. So
appreciate it, bro. That's love, man.
Okay, so I guess you've made Hooper's Voice. You got 11,000 something like that. So what made you start in the Hooper's Voice account?
If I'm honest, it was for my dissertation.
Yeah.
So I was at uni studying marketing, and they told us, they let us know in advance, a year in advance, that we have to do a dissertation. And I was wrecking my brain, trying to figure out what am I gonna do. And I know I want to do about social media. And then I got into like paid, the organic, but there wasn't a lot of like research on it.
Yeah.
And obviously with a disto, you have to find research to back whatever results or whatever in it, and you have to reference so much. You're gonna hate it, bro.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you'll have a great time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided to just make this page and use it as my experiment for my dissertation, which helped me crazy. So that's how I made it. In terms of the growth, I was making I did it first, bro. I was doing that cat and mouse game, you just follow a bunch of people. Yeah, you follow a bunch of people, you hope they follow you back. They don't even follow them. I did that all the time.
I think we've all done that.
Yeah, man. That was, and it just got too much. I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I think that got me to like 3,000 or something like that. I was like, and I maxed out. I was like, that's it. And I didn't mind, because at the end of the day, I didn't make the page to get to like 100k or a million followers. I just made a page for university, and I like making content, and I really enjoy basketball. So it was like, why not? Do you know what I mean? Even if it was on 100 followers and it stayed that way, I'd still make content because I just enjoy what I make. So I mean, and obviously I study marketing. I'm passionate about digital and social media marketing. So if anything, it's practice. For me becoming a social media manager for like a big company, for example. So it's like, just having experience and whatever I say I can do. Which has helped me do. But so stuck at 3K, don't know what to do, blah blah blah. End up making content. It was mainly about NBA stuff at first. So I was writing articles every week. And I remember making a post about Stephen Marbury. And I tagged him. I tag everyone to this day. LeBron James is never gonna see anything I make about that man. But I'll tag him just off chance.
Of course.
He might see some shit. He probably gets like 2 million mentions an hour. But one day he might just flick his phone and see me and be like, oh shit. Excuse my language. But Stephen Marbury saw it, he reposted it, he commented on it, we spoke in the DM. I was like, yo, I'm talking to Stephen Marbury, bro. Starbury, I was going nuts. And then when he shared it and commented on it, like I just got like a bunch of extra followers. And then, I was lucky to meet Terry Rozier, made some more content, like then I got like an NBA interview with Rashad McCants. And that's the worst interview you'll ever hear in the history of interviews, bro. It's 9 minutes long. I wasn't new. It wasn't my first interview, but it was like my first big one. It was 9 minutes long. I had to submit my questions first. But at that time, obviously it's a normal thing to do. Dealing with like higher ups. But at the time, it was weird to me. And I had like certain things I couldn't talk about. He drew some lines and stuff because obviously he had history with some Kardashians and all that kind of stuff. So I couldn't talk about certain things, which was cool. Didn't mind. I was gassed to get the interview. We have the interview now. It's probably like 3 a.m. And I'm shitting myself, bro. Like if you go back and listen to it, if you go on the THV pod, I think it's episode 1, like Rashad McCants, he makes some really great points about basketball anyway in that. But I was shook. It was like, it was his interview. Like he owned everything. And I was just like, Rashad. Like, so went from there, ended up doing one of my most favorite interviews ever with Phil Handy. Because, I did one with Rashad, ended up meeting Devin Williams from In The Lab, which was insane. And that was 2018. And then it just like helps. So you can DM other players, whether they're here, whether they're abroad. And you can be like, yo, I've interviewed, Rashad McCants, Phil Handy, this NBA player, this NBA coach. I think I interviewed one of the Bucks coaches. That's on the Bucks right now, for example. So like, you can add them names into the DM you send. Of course, bro. You're not gonna get everyone to hit you back, but it just helps. Like and then it helps with growth. Phil Handy reposted me. I guess some followers. Overtime reposted me a couple times. That was lit. They commented a couple times. Sick. Helped me out crazy. And that just helped me grow. I didn't have like a strategy. I just make content I enjoy making. I shoot my shot in a hella DMs, so many DMs. Like, bro, if you saw my DMs now, bro, it's just like hella people.
Yeah.
And then there's even like high profile NBA people that they'll do it, but whenever they're free. So I'm not gonna push. I'll message every 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Whenever they're free, I don't mind because it's more. It's not for the page. It's just more for me. Like I get to speak to someone I'm a fan of.
Exactly. Yeah,
you know, so that's pretty cool. But I made a page because university took off pretty well. I enjoy making the content. I would say if there's a hack of growing, I wouldn't just make what you like. Yeah. Just make what you like. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if you start stressing about followers and you're like, oh, I ain't blah blah, it's gonna eat you alive, bro.
Oh yeah,
100%. I don't care if, for example, bro, if I lost all my followers tomorrow, doesn't make. I don't care. Like, do you know what I mean? I still make what I want to make because at the end of the day, it's not paying me now. I'm not getting money from it now. It's like, why would I cry if I lost my Twitter, my YouTube, my Instagram, my whatever? I wouldn't care because end of the day, I'll do way more things than just THV. THV is a very, very small part of my life. That's like a fun hobby for me. Some people like making t-shirts, some people like making edits. I just like doing this stuff. It's fun. And I like talking shit about basketball. So that's why I made it.
Okay.
Yeah.